My dear Bagginses and Buffins.
By the blood of our people, are your lands kept safe?
I see in your eyes the same fear that will take the heart of me.
So do all who live to see such times.
By all that you hold dear, this good earth.
There's some good in this world, and it's worth fighting.
Question I've posed to you, and you seem to, you've already kind of answered this one, but that is, should we be making a Lord of the Rings cinematic universe? I have always been...
I not Marvel style or Star Wars style, but I mean, if they do it like pretty conservatively, like a movie every few years, I think that'd be okay.
Right, but you've got the original trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy, and those are so far removed now.
Maybe give us a new trilogy every 15 years.
Every 15. I mean, I'm even fine with it sooner. I think my whole point is, like, you've got the Rings of Power now in production for 4 more years. Like this year, like 4 more seasons. So this season coming up, and then 3 more, and that's gonna take what, like another, I don't know, 8 years. Like every other year we get a new season. So
yeah,
we have 8 years of consistent Lord of the Rings TV show. We have War.
But it's a different, but it is a different universe, right? Like
well, this is the thing, and like, yeah, I guess it technically is a different universe, but because it's still Lord of the Rings, and it's supposed to be like, I know people are gonna say this, hey, forget Rings of Power, and focus on the War of the Rohirrim, and then the Hunt for Gollum. And fair enough, but even those movies, we're getting one this year, and then one in 2026, and who knows between now and then if another movie doesn't pop up in 2028. So now every 2 years you're getting a new Lord of the Rings movie, which again, I like Lord of the Rings. It's the whole point of this channel is how in love I am with the original trilogy. But I also have argued in the past that having some mystery surrounding certain events helps sell the original idea of like Helm's Deep, for example.
Oh, I have an idea. I know I'm jumping totally off, but I'm going back to the topic. What if they like hold on. Yes, okay, this is the right article. Sorry, that was a different video. They play off the line, but they do it in the opposite way. Like, they just have Celebrimbor being dumb, and he's like, no, a servant of the enemy would look foul.
Oh, I see. No, that's good. I think that's actually really good. That's a great way to do that callback where it's a flip.
It's Celebrimbor, and he's flipping it and getting it completely wrong.
That's right. We've already shown him to be kind of a doofus, I will say. Like, I think I don't know if it's the actor's fault or the director's fault or the writer's fault. Maybe all three. But this character already seems like a doofus. And he was so swept up with Halbrand. Like, he was kind of in love with Halbrand himself, let's be honest. This guy's like, oh, this guy's so cool.
Yeah.
And then he got sad that he went away, and Galadriel didn't explain why. And so he just kind of has this longing for Halbrand to return to help him make more rings. But yeah, no, that'd be good. And it still has the exact same to the audience, meaning even though you've reversed it, because of the type of character he is, and because of the fact that he is an elf and is going to have this superiority, the flip actually works well. I really like that idea. That's good. But getting back to this topic here, that my problem is when you have these movies so consistently, you might lose some quality, which is bad for us watching, but also you might start to like mess up the lore, and then you have to like either retcon in stuff or double down on it and just completely change the lore. So I just, with all these different people handling the same world, it just feels like it could get kind of messy and chaotic, and people who don't follow Lord of the Rings YouTube channels might get lost, and then it, you know, you lose the magic of the original trilogy because it's lost in this sea of other stuff that might not live up to that same quality. But now it's like Star Wars now. Like because of all the Star Wars or Marvel stuff, you can never just show someone some original content, and they already have this like clouded vision of it, and they think it's gonna be kind of bad. And my worry is that's what happens with Lord of the Rings, and this world is particularly hard because I mean, not to pick on Star Wars and Marvel, but they bring people back to life all the time, and it doesn't seem to matter. Like death doesn't seem to have any impact on the story. It's just we'll bring them back to the next thing. Whereas in here, if you did that, if you bring back a character that has died just because you like them, I mean, no one's gonna be down with that. Like, it's gonna be awful. So I don't know. I'm hesitant. I am excited for War of the Rohirrim. In fact, I want to talk to you about a plan for watching certain things leading up to that. But I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for the Gollum movie especially because Circus is involved, Peter Jackson's involved. I'm just concerned that it gets out of hand, much like the Marvel and Star Wars universes have gotten. Because I remember the golden days of Star Wars and of Marvel, and now to see what they've become, they're jokes now, right? Like it's a joke of like I don't know if I'm ever gonna get excited to see Star Wars again, just because of how much stuff is there that I'm not interested in. And Marvel, I can't even. I hate Marvel now. Like it's just so bad now. So I really don't want that to happen with Lord of the Rings, and that's my worry. Is I'm gonna have that same feeling, and that's gonna make me feel really bad. So I'm optimistic if we can maybe manage it like every 3 years, having these kind of one-off movies, and then like you said, a trilogy every decade or so. Maybe that's how you do it, and you never tell a story that overlaps other than this Hunt for Gollum. I think it'd be better to just have either prequel stuff that is so far removed that you can have completely different actors, because no one's gonna, like, it's not related at all to the original. It's just like, oh, we're gonna see young Aragorn. Like, remember you and I pitched that idea, or
Adventures of Legolas and Gimli.
Or heck,
but now, you could do the Adventures of, or the Search for Gollum. That could have been a TV show.
Yep, Search for Gollum. Like, Search for Gollum works because it's inside of a moment in the movies when nothing happened. Like the movie literally jumps from one point to another, and in that space you have an entire movie, which is fine because nothing that happens there will affect either the before it or after it, as long as they don't like kill off a key character, like, you know what I mean, as long as they don't like screw up the entire actual story of either like by killing off a character or having a character go somewhere that they hadn't been yet or something like that. But like there's not too much that they can get wrong there, whereas once you start to delve into I don't know, like having a movie that takes place and a character arrives in Rivendell where the Fellowship is, that's when you start to get into these muddy waters of like you could start like messing with the feeling and style of those scenes from the original trilogy, and that's where I start to like take issues with it. And so I don't know, I'm trying to be optimistic here. I'm just worried there's so much coming out in so little time. On top of this, you've got Lego sets coming now and board games. Like, this thing's really exploding.
For Lord of the Rings, I mean, those Lego sets I've seen, they're coming from they're still coming from the original trilogy.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like this thing's really exploding, and it can get overwhelming. Like there's a new board game coming out called Quest for Mount Doom. It's like a miniature game.
Not really.
Yeah, and then obviously you got the Legos coming. So yeah, like there's just a lot happening, and I want it all to be of high quality. Like that's ultimately my goal here.
Yeah.
I want it all to be. I want it all to feel good while watching it. And with Rings of Power Season 1, I didn't find that feeling, like that same feeling I was looking for. And so I'm hoping I rekindle it with War of the Rohirrim and this Hunt for Gollum. And if I do, great, and then we'll see if we can keep that going. But like, I just feel like there's going to be potential burnout, and I really don't want that to happen with this franchise. So that is my issue that I have, and I'm working through it because I do want more stuff. Like that's the other thing. Like I'm torn. I do want more Lord of the Rings stuff. I just want it to be so good, and I'm just so nervous that it won't be. Because like you remember my feeling with The Hobbit. I did not like The Hobbit for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it took me a good number of years to find a way to enjoy that movie. The trilogy, I guess. And I don't want that to happen with this other stuff. Where like, oh, I don't really like it. Like, let's try it again this year. Let's try it again next year. But we'll see. This year we've got War of the Rohirrim, and then 2026 we'll be gearing up for the hunt for Gollum. So we'll take it one step at a time.